Hello, everybody. It's Karen here. I've got my little picture in the corner now. Makes just it nicer, but I can still get to say hello, and I can actually see my computer now. Phoebe is here today. Elka, yes, and hi, Gail. Elka's here. Phoebe's here. Phoebe's here. I know I said hello. I mean, we're both on the Yasutomo account, but she'll be chatting. There she is. She's here. So she'll be answering questions, of course, as always, and she's so good at that. Um, and I missed her last time. But we have a lot to do today. Oh, hi, Manon, Ginkgo Arts, welcome. So great that everyone's here. Hi from Wales. Hi, Josie and Margot. Wonderful. So excited that you're here too. Yay. So today, I kind of had this idea I was going to get really crazy and show all this stuff. And then I thought, oh, hi, Janet. I just thought it would be nice to have a relaxing, just kind of take it and break it down into just one or two elements rather than a whole bunch of stuff. And the reason I'm doing that is Phoebe and I just talked about this. We're going to do so today, I'm going to show you how to make, basically, we're making collage fodder, but we're at the same time, we are relaxing and calming ourselves. And I'm going to show you some techniques that are traditional Chinese painting and Japanese painting techniques, but of course, in this in any type of style that you want to do. But it's just some traditional techniques that I have learned over the years and then can use for this. And I'm in Arizona too, Kay. Nice that you're here. And hi, Deb. So I'm going to put my uh, camera on the table, just on the table. And I'm going to just kind of go over this with everybody. And so what I'm going to use today is I'm going to use the usagami because I love usagami. It becomes translucent after you've used it. And I just think it's strong enough to paint on. I think it's just such a beautiful, really beautiful. Oh, hi, Gail, Wendy, and Riley, yay! And Melinda's here, yay! Also going to show you some techniques on the Godsend paper. This is a really wonderful technique. This is used. I'm loading the brush, double loading. It's called. That's a Chinese painting thing. Hi, Carol. So glad you're here, everybody! Yay! So I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to use Chinese watercolors. And here's another one, and these are just little pages of leaves, and I can use them in different things. But this is I'm going to for sure show you that. I have time to do that, and then I'm going to just show you. We've got something brand new that just came, just like right off the boat, and it's our Chinese metallic inks, and I'm going to show you some fun things with those because they're fantastic and they just came in. And I think and Phoebe's going to tell you where they're being sold. They're just, since they're so brand new, there might be only one or two, but I think this is going to be a really great product. So yes, I'm really excited to show. There's 8 colors. I'm just going to show you all of them. Woohoo! 8 colors. And what's great about these are made a little different than regular inks. They're pure metallic, but they have something in it that keeps it permanent in the washi, but also it's really good on non-porous surfaces too, like wood and things like this candle thing. I might add a little of that metallic. And yeah, so I'm going to show you I'm going to kind of play with those so you can see them anyway. Just the first time we'll be premiering these. And I'm also going to use Sumi ink. I've got KY series, which is it doesn't have any additives at all. And then the black Sumi ink, which is the KF series. And this has a little bit of PVA in it. And yes, Manon, that's a really good question because I did paint on fabric and I don't know where I put the swatch. I've got to find that swatch. Anyway, I painted on the fabric on cotton without any medium, and I painted on with fabric medium. And the fabric medium, it was beautiful. It stayed in and it washed really well. And with the fabric medium not being in it, it washed out completely, which is kind of a good thing. So I'm going to just check to see if I can find that watch because I want you to see it. I just realized that well, hopefully I have no, I don't know where it is. I put it somewhere in my mess. But the next time I'll show you. But you use a fabric medium, like Golden makes a fabric medium. Golden brand. The brand is Golden, and it's a fabric medium. And I think other companies make fabric medium, but it's an acrylic. It's a binder, and it really kept the ink very soft in the fabric, and it was cotton, and it kept it really soft, and it kept all the shininess. It was perfect. There was no degradation of the color. I was really impressed. And these inks, by the way, have been tested for a light fastness, and I'd say every color except the green. The green had just a tiny shift. It wasn't bad. Wow, good morning from Australia. All right. The green had just a very slight shift, but it wasn't bad. These were not changed at all in direct sunlight for the amount of time that we exposed. So they're light fast. So yes, they'll be great in fabric. And all right. So I got off on a thing. So this is just some Gossamer paper, and I love Gossamer for its absorbency, its strength, and I mean, the absorbency is amazing, and it's pretty strong paper. And this, what I did with this is I scribbled with the artist crayon, the clear artist crayon. I just kind of scribbled, and then I painted with ink and watercolor, Chinese watercolors, and then I splattered the little last part was splattering with the blue and the silver metallic ink. And that just really feels really nice. I might make a gift. It might be a nice gift wrap or just, part of a collage, something for collage. And so today I'm going to just show you different things. Like this is a little piece that I did a little while ago. And it's just a little kind of a grid, which is nice. I'm going to be able to put that in a collage and that paper is going to disappear. This some circles, so I'm going to make some circles. So if you want to join me in making mindful marks with your inks and papers, please join me. The other thing I want to show you, and I hope I have time, is a little discovery. I was playing with our stencil brush. We have the large stencil brush, and if you don't have a stencil brush, there's this stencil brushes are large, and then there's other types of brushes where you can make these little shapes, these little. I'm going to show you something that's really fun. It's a really fun technique, and it's just another way to make marks and to enjoy just enjoy kind of creating patterns and having some mindful art. And I want to just share with you something I made a couple. I don't know, it was a couple weeks ago. I used a die cut machine, just a die cutting thing, and I made this is out of the Mashi Hosho, and I really love it. And this was actually inspired by a fodder school or a fodder challenge project, and I just thought it looked really gorgeous with this gauzen, not gauzen, the Mashi Hosho. And again, I'm going to talk about Mashi Hosho today. These are just some of the pieces that I enjoy doing. And okay, so I'm just going to go over the papers. I've also got the Hosho. I've got some samples I'm going to play with. We have the Hosho Usagami, which is the tissue. Mashi Hosho, that is the thicker, double layered Japanese washi paper. It's almost like a cardstock. And I don't know if I took out any Torinoko, but Torinoko is a nice paper because it doesn't soak. So you're not going to get that absorbency. It's a more size. So that's one difference. Gassen is one I'm going to be showing you today because of its absorbency and its fabulous way. There's some things you can do with it that are just incredible, besides just regular painting. So I'm going to just show you all just different things today. And this is like a little, these are little collage, little cutouts. I haven't finished that one, but this one was, these are little leaves that I had painted with, I just used the Chinese watercolors, and I'm going to show you those, our Chinese watercolors, which come in, I don't have the package on me, but they're the tubed watercolors, and they're very pigmented, and they're really formulated to go on these absorbent papers, and they just do really well. And so this is with Gossamer, and then what I love about the Gossamer paper is I'm able to paint and I'm able to draw after. I hope you can see that, but I can get really fine lines over it, And you can see this little white outline. That is the Chinese watercolor, and it creates a resist, which made a white outline. And I thought that was fabulous. And then, of course, I can doodle and stuff over these, but this is, I'm going to show you that. I'll show you that first because what I did is I paint the leaves first, and then I coat the back with some sumi ink. Now, since I'll do some bits of everything so you can see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to grab a surface, and when you're painting on um, absorbent papers, oh, and I just wanted to, I'm going to put all my samples away here real quick. But this is like some of the usagami pieces that I had painted or stamped on, and I used it to collage on this box. This was another fodder challenge project, and I used it. I made the box, and then I collaged using the usagami. And if you don't have usagami yet, you've got to get some because it is fantastic. So these little boxes are made with drawn elements with the usagami. And it's just and here's another one, the little drawn stem thing. That is, you don't see it. It's totally disappeared. You don't see the paper at all. You just see what's underneath. I really love that. So I just wanted to share those with you, and how you can, if you amass a stash these are my little clusters that I did using all Japanese washi papers. So this was another fodder challenge. I just have to shout out to Fodder Challenge. It kept me really busy this month. And I used all Japanese washi paper. That is the Hosho, Mashi Hosho, the Gossen, the 6H, all of it. All these are from except for the focal point. Those are all with Japanese washi papers. And I just thought these came out so pretty, and I wanted to share one with you if you hadn't seen them on my Instagram. But and I'm sorry, Lynn, that they're not products aren't available, but I'm sure you can find products that are you just type in the name of the description of the paper, and you might be able to get a version or something similar in the UK. I really wish we had something that we can make that happen for you. Okay, so I've got my Chinese watercolors. I have my Chinese inks. I've got my sumi inks. I've got my dishes, and these are dishes that I use for doing inks and playing with inks. And I want to let you know too, that what I do is if you have a stash of papers that you're kind of amassing, which I have, I keep them in this little wooden tray, and I kind of go through. Here we go. I'm going to kind of pull these out because I'm going to be showing that. I kind of organize them like this is my momogami stash, and then I have my usagami stash. All these are like a stamped usagami with some rubber, some hand carved stamps. You can draw with an ink pen with usagami. You can paint on it, and then you've got amazing oodles of bits of collage fodder that you can play with, or little bits like this one here. I did these this morning. These are Wendy Solganic's Art Foamy stamps, and I made little, just stamp these things, and then I made a candle hold. This is a prayer candle, and I collaged. First, it's a 6JM. So I'm gonna tell you the paper is 6JM, and these are usagami little focal points, and I just think that came out really good. And 2 weeks from now, I'm going to show you. We're gonna make these. I'm gonna show you how we can make these. I just think these are so pretty. And let me show you another one. And it's basically there's another one that's a collaged layered over with the usagami. So we're going to be making these because, holidays are coming, and, I love handmade gifts. I love to give them. And this is going to be my gifts for lots of people this year because I like making them so much. I plan to make a whole bunch. But so we'll start by making them in 2 weeks. We'll be making candles. Yay! Luminarias, we'll call them. Okay, so I'm just kind of telling you about my stash here, and then I'll move it out of the way. And I save it by category. Like this is fused tissues, and then I have just gel printed papers. And out of the gel printed paper stash, I'm going to I'm going to make that my candles. Okay. So for next 2 weeks from now, you'll need your gel printed papers, preferably washi paper like 6H, 6JM. Gaussian would probably be okay, but it's a little thicker. I like the translucent papers. So I'm going to show you how this technique, it's called double loading, and it's really a fun technique. And I'm going to do it with, I'm going to grab my Gaussian paper. So I cut some papers down because I didn't want to spend too much time on each one. And I've got them written down so I'll remember which ones I've got. So this is Gaussian. And I'm going to work on a surface that is, what do you call it? Non-absorbent. So I've got a paper, it's called a palette pad. And I'm going to show you who, just in case you need to know, it's from Blick Studio, 9x12. It's a paper palette. It's got wax. It's wax paper basically, and I love it because it's in a pad, and it's easy to pick off a sheet and work with it. So I've got this Gaussian paper, which is what I'm working on. I'm gonna work this way, so you can. I'm gonna kind of get all of my little duckies in a row here, and I'm going to use Chinese watercolors. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some Chinese watercolor in here, and I'm going to use the color 57. And I think, yeah, I'm just going to use 57. It's kind of an indigo color. It's a very dark color. There's no black in the Chinese watercolor set, and that's for a reason. Yes, 6E may be might be too delicate, Elka, but might be okay to try. But the this is the Gaussian here. And then, so I'm going to put, in the center, I'm putting that indigo, and I'm just kind of putting it like a blob. And I'm going to put a little water on it, but not too much. Now, if I can spray my little water bottle, just a little bit, just to kind of moisten it. And what I like about these two watercolors is there's a number 58. This is even more of a dark color. In fact, that's the color I should have used. There we go. That's even darker. That's the indigo. The other one's more of a blue. I'm going to just spray that just a hair, just a little. And then I'm going to use, what else? I think a really pretty color is the Celadon, if I can find it. But it's Halloween. Maybe I should do I think I want to do some more fall colors. Like today, it's a Halloween day. I'm going to use some metallic gold. I might try some gold here, but I've also got the metallic gold from our NNC 15 set. It's just, I love it. So I'm going to make I'm going to make a green in here. That's mixing the yellow and that really nice blue, and it's going to make a really kind of nice green. And I'm going to put a little yellow, and I'm going to put some, I don't know which one this is. It looks like it might be the Cinnabar. Let's see, there's a really nice orange color, reddish orange. And then I'll use a brown. And I may even use a little white to mix with. So this is different, of course, than our transparent watercolors. I like it. It's almost like, for me, it's not acrylic. It's not like painting in an acrylic, but here's our metallic silver. I love those two. And Phoebe and I were talking about maybe just offering those two colors as in a set, just by themselves, these gold and the silver, because I'll show you why they're so great. But right now you can get them in the set with the Yasutomo NNC watercolor set. Okay, so now I've got just like a nice mix, and these are kind of on the fallish side. But of course, I've got that blue, and that might make it different. But let's just play. I mean, this is the time to play. I'm going to put a little metallic gold, and this comes in a tube, so it's a little liquidy. But I might even, just for fun, ooh, copper. I think I'm going to use a little copper. This is just where you just have fun. Yes, the metallic in the set. So everybody, if everybody wants to vote for the metallic, these colors, put it in the, oh, hi, Gina. So good to see you. It's so good you're here. This is the Aquarelle watercolors, metallic silver. It's really a pearl color, and gold. Just kind of make a vote in the chat. Would you buy this just a set by itself? That's just something to bring up. Okay, so now I've got a little bit of water in all of them. I'm kind of setting up my palette here. Oops, I put water in the Chinese ink. That's okay, no big deal. And I don't want to do black right now because I'm just using only colors. Now, the thing I'm going to use is I'm going to use a wafude brush, which is our traditional Japanese brushes. This one is the WF1. Then I have the WF4. Yeah, those two different ones. They look almost the same. Well, actually, they don't look anything the same. There's this one has a plastic ferrule, and this one doesn't. They just behave differently, even though they're almost the same size. They really act differently. Ooh, and a copper one would be nice. Yummy. Ooh, that Thank you. So wouldn't that be gorgeous? Gold, silver, and copper, like a reddish red gold, which I think they could do. I think they're really really cool. But yes, so I'll show you how these work. Okay, so let's get started on the painting part. So with this, when you're using these, you always want to dampen your brushes ahead of time. So I'm just going to grab some water, and I always like to take like a little cloth. Always have like some cloth on hand, and I like to dampen these just to get them kind of started, and like this, just to have them so they're not. So they see at the point they come to such a gorgeous point, and I love these. And now what I need to do is I need to mix up these colors, and I might not do it with these brushes because I just got them ready. I'm going to mix them with I'm going to use my Fusion 1/4 inch brush, and I'm going to mix up some colors here. And I'm going to make I'm so excited. Okay, so I'm going to make a green in here. This is going to be a really beautiful green that I just mixed with that yellow and the blue. Look at that gorgeous green that's coming out. So with the Chinese inks, there's really no green, but you can make a green easily. See that nice green? And that is probably I don't have the package, but there's two or three blues, and the one of them makes a really brilliant green, and the other one makes less of a brilliant green. And I'm going to quickly dirty up. Actually, what I'm going to do is try to get some of that paint off on my rag, and then just dirty up less of my water there. Now I'm going to mix up. I think the rest I'm just going to kind of make a thin wash. So I'm kind of thinning the paints a little bit with water because you really don't need super thick amount. There's a nice kind of orangey color, and then this gorgeous sort of rusty, yummy fall color. I'm just trying to just kind of bringing in the fall. I live in Arizona and it still feels summer here. So I'm going to try to invoke fall vibes just by doing this. So I've got some yellow, and I'm just going to thin it, putting a little bit of water in it. I could have sprayed it, but I'm just kind of mixing it up. I'm going to leave this dark blue alone, and I'm going to leave the gold and the white alone. Okay, so now I'm ready to do my double loading. Okay, double loading of a brush. First thing, now I've never used this before, this orange. I'm going to use it today. I'm going to just do a little. I'm going to load my brush with this orange color. And I might even do a triple loading. So I've got the brush loaded with the orange. And what I'm going to do too now is I'm going to take a tip of the blue. And that's a weird combination, but I'm just going to try tipping it in the blue, just tipping it so you can see. If you notice, that brush has double loaded pigment. This is something that's very common in Chinese brush painting and Japanese brush paintings. And so it's just very common, but you don't have to do common, and you can do things like mark making with it too. So I'm going to make a leaf, and I'm going to start by, you're going to see, I'm going to make this one side of the brush. I'm just going to kind of use the brush, and look what happens. I get this incredible faded, almost like a gradated look. Isn't that gorgeous? And now I'm going to take that brush. I'm going to use some of this copper. I'm just going to load it with the copper that's already there. See what it looks like. This is the copper ink. And I'm going to dip it into that blue, and I'm going to bring in the second half of that leaf. And I'm just going to see what it looks like. Oh my gosh. Wow. So I'm going to just kind of cheat a little bit, but this is the thing about Gosen, is that it's very forgiving. It lets you paint almost. It's like a canvas. Oh, and Gina's doing origami. That's awesome. Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, that sounds like a great idea. So isn't that beautiful? Now I'm gonna take that, kind of dip it. I've got enough ink in there actually already. I'm gonna make a little stem like that. Okay? So that's one. I'm gonna try another one. I'm gonna just turn my paper around. And the reason I've got this, it didn't really soak through too bad, but it does soak through. So I like to have my uh, paper that I like to have it a little a non something that's going to protect my paper. So I'm going to try it again. Let's try something fun. Try another thing. This time I'm going to do this rusty color. I'm going to keep it kind of on the thinner side and maybe some yellow. So I've tripled it. I just did a little yellow too. And this time I'm going to do the green and see what happens. This green, I'm just tipping it in that green that I made. So there's my triple loaded. And I didn't use any metallic on that, but I think I'll try. I think the metallic just makes it stunning, but we'll just see what happens. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to take the tip of my brush, and I should probably put this. I'm going to bring this down just a little so you can see it, and then I'll pull it back up so you can see. Here, I'm just going to take it. I'm going to lay the brush down, and I'm just kind of just twisting the brush. You see what I'm doing? I'm just twisting it, and then I just lift it. So I've got this, oh wow, gorgeous gradation of color. And then I'm going to take that, clean that out. I'm going to use some of that gold that I had. Ooh, pretty, pretty. I'm going to just probably dilute that a little bit, make it a little thinner. And I'm going to take the green, well, maybe this orange color, I'm triple loading it now. And I like that green, so I'm going to tip it in green. I've got three colors on it now. And I'm going to start my brush stroke, and I'm just going to drag that brush to the end. Basically, I just made another leaf, and now I'll just kind of bring that stem, and I've got these incredible looking leaves. And when they dry, it looks better because some of that color bleeds out. You can see the metallic is sort of staying, and then the color bleeds out somewhat. It's just it's amazing. Now I'm going to do another one just so you can kind of get an idea. This is what I did. I made a whole page of these. Whoops, there we go. I made the whole page of this one had made the indigo and the gold, just the gold. And then sometimes I mix a little of the silver and gold together. This is the silver and the blues. So you can see these, I'm going to do something too in a little bit that it'll be shocking, but it's really fun. So this one, I'm just going to take a little bit of this orange since it's already there. And as you're working it, you're going to be able to use these combinations of colors. Double loaded, and I'm going to do uh, just another leaf. Again, with my point, and then just kind of take that brush and just twist it until it becomes to a point again. And you can get this really fantastic. I'll show you that a little closer. It is like magic, and I'm having so much fun. I mean, it's like magic, magic. Now, if I don't, I'm gonna just show you what happens if you don't load your brush again. Even though I love this, I'm gonna show you if you just take it right away and you're using the same load, this time you're not gonna go as far, and I kind of ended it there, but I'm just gonna grab and just kind of pretend like, there we go. So really on one load or one brush load, I got that whole le leaf, and I'm going to go ahead and make a stem right there. Okay, and I'll do another one with maybe since I've got it, I might as well fill the page. This one I'll do green. I'll just take a lot of the green, mix it up. So I've got like a metallic green tone. I've got some of that gold. I can even put some of the copper in there. And what I just noticed this, is the Chinese ink, when you put it in, it kind of spreads the other ink, the watercolors out, which is kind of interesting. It's kind of a grayish, not very pretty color, really, but it's going to be really pretty when I tip this in the blue. I think it'll be. We'll see. Now I'm going to do another leaf. I'm going to start by just rolling that belly of the brush and just kind of drag it until it comes to a point. And now that that balayage or whatever we want to call it it's happening. I'm going to do the same thing. Load that tip it and do this. Bring it and just kind of drag that brush to meet the tip. And then I'm just going to take my stem here, like that. So you see, I've got these really amazing fall colors, subtle gold, very more, gnarly, more, more not so subtle, but they're very fall like. And what I like about the Gossamer paper and these inks, you can paint over it with whites and things like that after it dries, and you can layer. It lets you layer, which is pretty amazing. I'm going to pick up a little of this orange, and I'm going to just throw a little white in there to show you that you can soften the color. And now this is almost like it's just a beautiful, yum, reminds me of milk chocolate, actually. That, isn't that beautiful? Oh, gobsmacked. I love it. Thank you. So I'm going to take some of this gold and I'm going to mix that, warm it up. So what happens if you take that gold, that watercolor, you can warm up a color because that chocolate color was kind of not very warm and now it's warmer. And if I want to add a little green to it, just to kind of, you know, make it a little more leaf-like, I can do that, and it kind of changes it. So yeah, just play with it. It's like you're playing with paints, but it's not like an acrylic paint, which dries out quickly. This will not dry out quickly. It will eventually dry out though, and you won't be able to use it as easily. It's re-wettable, but it's harder to re-wet than regular watercolors. So it's possible though. I'm going to take the green, tip the green, and then tip the blue. And I'm just going to do another dramatic leaf. We'll see what happens. I'm going to roll the brush and just kind of just bring it up. Love it, love it. And then, so the white kind of makes it more opaque. And then I'm just going to take that blue and I'm going to just do it again. I'm going to do a different type of just roll. I'm squishing it and then I'm picking it up, dragging it to the tip. So I'm using the brush to manipulate the shape rather than, making a drawing on the outside, making a drawing first. I'm using the brush to make the drawing, if that makes sense. It's these brushes are meant for this. That's what they live for that. So I would get, if you don't have one of these brushes, or at least a couple of them. I do like these too. They're different in the way they behave, but the WF4 is what I'm using right now. So if you're inspired to try these, you're going to get a beautiful effect with with this one. And one more, I'm just going to do one more to fill the page, and then I'll be done, and I'll show you the next thing. So I'm just making this time kind of a wonky shape, and then this time I'm not going to reload it. I'm just going to make a skinny little shape to make it meet, and then I'm going to just take that stem. So there's my little page of falling leaves that I can use and cut out or not. I can just, something like that I can put on a card. It would be gorgeous, just, by itself. And then let those dry. Now, once they're dry, it takes a while because it's very wet. Like right now, and the paper's more delicate when it's wet. I'm going to put it aside to dry. And I'm going to bring out these that I had done last couple days ago. I'm going to cut this paper in half. So I'm just going to cut it because I want to do one thing to one sheet side of it and another to the other. And I don't care that I cut at least some of the leaves, but I want you to see what happens when you do this. So I'm going to take some ink. All right, I better find out where I'm going to do my inks. So I'm going to do this. I've got this little cat dish that I bought off Amazon. I like it because it's a little deeper. This one, I have to put a lot of ink to get a deep, to have a deep amount. So I like this little shallow, small dish. It's really cute. And I love cats. It has a brush rest, which I think is so cute. And it holds a good amount of ink. So I'm going to use, since I've got this, I'm just going to use black ink. I'm just going to use the plain old KY series. If I can open it up. Let me just try to get that open. Okay. And I'm going to pour that into my little dish. And I need enough to be able to cover the back of this. And this is really important to have something down on the table to protect your table. I'm going to use a fusion brush, just a flat brush. And let's take a look at it now. And then now we're going to just put ink on the back of the paper. And it is kind of, well, I'm not sure what it's going to look like. I really don't. Sometimes the ink soaks right through and I won't have much. And then sometimes it's very stunning. But I want you to see this is like a fun little thing you can do after you've made your marks or your mindful marks. And this is very relaxing too, just the black wash right over the back and just kind of fill. You can be as saturated or as light as you want, but I kind of just like to fill it in. So I'm going to look at it. Well, no, I'm not going to look at it yet. I want to be surprised. I'm going to go as far as my ink will go, and it's almost out because I didn't really pour much in here, and just want to see. All right, so I'm almost out of ink there. Okay, let's just see what it looks like. Oh, actually, I'll do this with the KY, and then I'll use the KF, so you can see the difference is really hard to tell, but the KF has a little PVA in it, and it may act differently. I'm not sure. It might soak in differently. And just so you know, I'm using Gossan. This is the Gossan, and it's wonderful for this type of thing. All right, now I've got that. I'm going to go ahead and this is actually covering a lot nicer. The KF series seems to just looks like it's just covering. It feels more, I don't know, liquidy. It's weird, but it's kind of what it is. I'm just experiencing it side by side. I rarely use them like this, but I wanted to just kind of experience it side by side. So you can see how much quicker I was able to cover that and solid, like a solid coverage. And this one I had a little drier experience. And I don't know why. It's just, it's so, for certain things, like I think, you would use this ink and then I'm just going to go ahead and cover it. Now, the reveal is going to happen. I'm going to show you right now. As soon as I get this covered, I have to show you. I can kind of see there's a resist going on. You can see underneath those leaves. KY, eclectic, you're funny. So yes, the KY is lubricant, but it is also an ink, the KY series. KY2, KY6. That's why I remember it, like Elka. It's the only reason I remember. Okay, so I'm going to put this in a different water container. I always try to separate my inks from my watercolors. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab this. I'm going to see what it looks like. Oh, interesting. So it's interesting. Now it looks really cool, but I want to it's not quite cool enough. But see how the black is resisted? Now I'm going to go ahead and put this back. Actually, I'm going to wipe this off while I'm doing this. I'm going to wipe this excess off because I don't want to get that on my metallic, on my beautiful leaves. I'm just going to kind of wipe that. So, or I could have changed it, but I don't want to use more plastic than I need. So I'm going to lay that back down and I'm going to give it another coat, but this time I'm going to add a little water to the ink just to give it a little soak through. So I just dipped my brush in water and now I'm dipping it back and I'm going to do the same thing. Dip my brush in water and I'm dipping it in ink. So I'm going to give it another yes, and it will work. It goes right through and yes, that's what I wanted. So you just have to be more generous with the ink or use a little water and it will soak. The water really helps. And maybe even if I take my water, the little distilled water and I spritz it, that's going to help too. You can do that if you don't want to dip your brush every time. You're just going to kind of go into these in between the leaves and just see what happens. These are just so pretty, and it just makes a really unusual piece. And this paint or the ink is definitely going to soak in 100%, and it won't bleed if you need to use it for collage. Oh yeah. Now it covered up some of my. It kind of went. I went a little crazy, but there it is. So I was able to get some. Now I'm just going to go on top because I kind of want to bring the leaves out. But you can see what I did was it just resisted. All the leaves are showing. They're all poking through, and when it dries, you're going to see them even more. But I just thought that was really pretty. So that's one way. And the resist should It's not showing the white on the outside in this one, but in the painted ones it does. So there's one way you can really just like have a really dramatic uh, collage paper, or you can cut this stuff out. I'm just going to leave that there, let it dry in a safe spot. I actually, because my cat's sleeping in my room here, I have to hide it because he will find it and he'll have fun with it. Okay, so the other thing you can do with the paper, so if you don't want to make a black ink thing, you can take, I'm just going to use a surface underneath it. You can do things like, I've got some ink in here I might as well use, and I'm going to use this brush. One of my other brushes that I love so much is the SW series. This one's the SW2, and I think it's just a two, but there's a zero, there's a one, there's all different sizes. And these are fantastic for making really sharp, wonky, fun lines. You can see that it's got it holds a lot of ink. And I'm going to do a little doodling because I like contrast. You don't have to do this, but I'm just going to kind of take it to a place and see what happens. So I'm just dipping my brush. Of course, there's not much ink in there, but I'm going to try to use what I have. And I'm going to make like a line around, kind of like just kind of going around. And I might even take that and bring it up. So I've just kind of showing you that you can layer with inks over the Chinese watercolors. So I'm just going to go do another little thing, maybe just a outline, maybe just mindfully going around the edge of these. I think that kind of adds, or if I don't want to do that, I can just do a line straight through, which I think is pretty too. I'm just going to do those two. Kind of leave that like that. So you can add contrast to all of your creations, all your leaves. If you're doing leaves are fun. I'm going to do a little bit here, and you can see it's faded. I'm going to do it again. Of course, I did put water in that ink, so it's not as intense. There we go. So that's one way you can just layer and doodle over your drawing or your leaves. Let's just do this one. I'm going to take that and go around. Here, I like these. These are fun. So that is the using the Gaussian. I wanted to let you know how versatile it is for things like that. I think that pretty. It came out nice. So the next thing, now that I have my ink out, and I'm gonna grab some. I like to change it up. I'm gonna use some of this. This is traditional Chinese ink with a silver. It's black with silver, and this one is black with gold. And you gotta shake it, and you have to shake it until you hear um, the ball. If you hear the ball going clink, 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 you know you've mixed it up. If you don't hear the ball, keep shaking. Otherwise, you won't get the metallic effect that you want. I'm gonna let's see, I'm gonna put it in this dish because this is gonna be my ink dish. And I'm gonna put the gold first. And since there's black already in here, it doesn't matter because this has got black in it anyway. And I'm just going to stick it in there. You can't even see the gold right now, but you will when you do the painting. So I'm going to take some Hosho paper because I talked about that we have Hosho paper, and I'm just going to do some little mark making with my brush and Hosho paper. And I'm going to do leaves just because it's fun to do leaves. I'm going to make little leaves. And I'll show you how I make these. These are not painted, these are drawn. So how I do it is I just take a stem, draw the stem, and then I just draw a wonky line like that. And then I always like to turn my paper over. This is kind of my thing. I don't know. I don't have to do this, but just makes it easier to make these leaves because I can do the same move but create different directions of the leaf. And I've got that little bit of gold is kind of peeking through. It's a warm black, which is really pretty. And I'm going to take it and just going to go this way. So I'm just trying to do like just a pattern. Basically, I'm making a pattern. And this is another relaxing thing you can do Plus, it also helps you practice over and over shapes that you are trying to master. So this is just a little bit, it's like a little straight, like a curved line, and then it's like a little wonky and a little wonky. And you can make it your leaves change just by the way you do the piece here. I'm going to bring that camera down again and see it. And then I'll do it again. This time I'm going to go. And you need, when you're using this ink, you need to dip it and then you kind of brush it off on the side of a dish. That helps it from being too much ink. You just kind of make, and then it also keeps your brush to a really nice fine point. So that's what I love about these. So this one, I'm just going to make a little S, a little larger leaf this time, and then maybe a little skinnier one, just to change up the side a little bit. And this one needs to be this way. So I'm going to turn it. Oh, I don't need to turn the whole board around. I'm just going to make another one. And I'm just going to use the regular ink. And I'm going to kind of go into this area here. And you don't want to hesitate. I just hesitated. If you hesitate when you're drawing, it shows the hesitation. That's what the thing about these papers is. If I want to hesitate, it's going to leave a thicker line, which could be interesting. But if you want thinner lines, go quickly. If you want thicker lines, you can go slow. And that's just how, instead of having different brushes, I'll show you a thicker line when I'm talking about. So I'm going to go slow. I'm just going to go slow. I'm not changing. I'm just slowing down. See how much thicker that line is? Just by the speed of the brush, of how the stroke is. And then I'm going to go quickly on the leaf. So I can make like a thinner line just by the way how slow I go and how fast I go. And those are things that are wonderful about these brushes and supplies. It's what makes them so fun to work with. So this one I'm going to go a little slower. Same thing, just a little slower, and then quickly. And you can see I'm able to make variations in the stem thickness. And yeah, the gold edge will show a little bit more. I don't know if you see it yet. I see it, but when it dries, it should be more prominent. And I did mix it with this. Now let's, for fun, I'm gonna take a brand new thing here. I'm gonna try something. This ink is the same ink that's in this, but it doesn't have black in it. This is incredible. It's incredible. Where it's made by we get it from the same source. I don't really know if it's the same ink because it actually looks a little warmer than the gold that's in the Chinese ink, but I may be wrong. It might be the same. Maybe Phoebe would know. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put a little bit of my ink and mix it up with this gold. It still looks black, but I'm just kind of showing you differences that you can work with. Let's see, I'm going to turn this one around. I'm just going to go in with oh yeah. I just dulled, oh yes. Now you can see that ink, what happened. I got this nice bit of gold really fast. So that is how you can you can actually make your own. If you don't have this, you can get some of this and add to your sumi ink, and you're going to get whatever variation of, if you want a really bright black gold, like this one, I'm going to put more gold, and I'm just going to wipe that off, and then I'm going to do another stem, and ooh, yummy. And then that one needs to go the other way. Oh well, I'm just going to go fast, and then fast. And that's, oh wow, look at those. That to me is so exciting. I love that. And if I wanted to add a little like a white, so I've got the two gold. I don't want the white. That's white. I want to use the silver. The silver ink. I'm going to shake it up. It doesn't need a lot of shaking, but it does have a ball on the inside. And I'm going to put a little of that silver ink right next to the gold, just to change it up, like a mixed metal kind of thing. And I'm going to mix that with that. And this ink is going to be permanent on even non-porous surfaces. So I've just kind of putting that pearly mixing it with the gold and some of the black here. I'm gonna just really do it. So it's like a mixed metal kind of color. To me, it looks like almost like a bronze. Okay, let me just do this. I'm gonna take it and make another, see what I get. Oh yeah, it's a very soft, oh, pretty, pretty. Okay, so I'm experimenting while I'm here with all of you. There we go. Oh yeah. That is so pretty. Do you see that I cooled up, I changed that a little bit. I changed it. It looks more like a green gold. Can the gold be? Yes, the gold can be mixed with regular watercolor paint. Isn't that amazing? Oh, the link for the cat. I'll have to put it up there. I just purchased it so I can put it up in the chat later or under the description or something. Or if you give me a few minutes after I finish with my demo, I can do it. So this metallic ink is our it's a liquid sumi ink, metallic, and it's brand new. We just got it, and Phoebe can probably put that in. Oh, I'm loving this so much. The mixing the gold, and I can do this with the copper too, and I can do it with the blues and everything else. This is what's so cool about it, is that it becomes really, really versatile. Like this one looks like a green almost because I put a lot of, or it's just like a yummy pewter color, practically a pewter color. I don't know if you can see. I'm trying to show you. There we go. And as it dries, it gets more brilliant. And of course, the black mixed with just the gold. You see a little bit it's dried. It's kind of a soft gold. And I'm gonna go mix it all together because it's there. Oh my gosh. And I'm gonna put a little copper in there. No, I think I'm gonna put a little red. And this is what's so fun about it. You can just sit here and if you just play, give yourself time to play, give yourself permission to play and try things. And then you're going to just, you just, all these fun discoveries happen. So this one I'm going to do a little, I mixed whatever. It's just a mixture of metallics and the black gives it a little, it's going to make a little outline. You'll see it when it, oh, the outline. Yes. The outline is coming through. It's very subtle, but I do see it. The black is kind of outlining. You'll see on this right there. I know it's very, and if you do it with a thicker brush stroke, you're going to get more prominent uh, spreading of the black. So if I like this one, there, you can see the black is coming through, just like a little outline. There it is, because I've got a thicker line there. And then I'm just going to go a little, this one is going to be a thicker one, just so you can see that outline, because it is gorgeous. And then just one more to finish it off. And here I'm just going to do that. That's the end of that page on the host show. But aren't those gorgeous? It's just fun little colors. And when you're using these inks, don't leave your brush out without rinsing it first, because these inks will kind of make your brush stiff and it might not it's harder to dissolve them. Now you can see this one is starting to bleed. The black is coming through. You can see that. I love these. Okay, so I'm just going to lift that up a little so you're not staring at it too close. Put that aside. That's the host shell. So let me go to the usagami. I can do the same thing, or I can just make lines. I can do whatever. Now with usagami, I like to use a barrier underneath because you can see I use the wax paper underneath. Ooh, and I can even use, I've got an idea. Just kind of an idea is to make marks. I've got these little stamp designs, very subtle, from Wendy Solganic's her art for me. But what I could do is kind of use this as a guide, and I can just start making these little lines and marks. So I'm going to just try with the mix I already have, and then I'll use straight black ink over here. So just going to see what I can do. So this one, I can see, I'm just going to go through and I'm going to follow what's underneath. I'm just going to go around following her, tracing over her designs. And these are her art foamy stamps. And they're really cute. They're really adorable. And you can actually trace over your own drawings, or you can use when oh yes, hello, I love it, I love it, I love it. So I'm gonna bring that up so you can see it. See how the ink, black ink is just popping through? I love that. I can add a little more black to this whole thing, which I just kind of dipped it into that black. And I'm gonna do this one. I love that. I love these little flowery things. And I'm just gonna, you can see it goes all the way through. So the black is on one side and the metallic is on the other. I love that. So I can just use the same design or I can do other things. Like this one will take a little longer, but I will show you. I like I like that so much. I might just do that again a lot. I love that. Repetitive things really are very calming, and tracing over something is even more calming that I'm just not even having to think at all. I just gonna go over whatever I see below. And that is so fun. Fun, fun, fun. And if you have patterns that you have, in you have stamps at home, or you just draw some patterns and then start playing. I'm gonna go ahead and do it again. This time I'm gonna change it up. I'm gonna change the position of my paper. There, like that. And I'm just gonna load up my brush with my black and metallic ink. And I'm gonna just do, you see, maybe a little one here. I'm just gonna change it up a little so I don't have to trace her design always exactly the same. It's just a guide. And then I'm just gonna go around and make my flower petals. And then this one, there, like that. This time I kind of made my own up just to mix it up a little, using the what's underneath as a guide. And I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to do the same over here. So you can see how you can just make sheets, just make master sheets of these focal points, and they're just so fun. All right, so the next thing I'm going to show you just only in black after I've done these. And then you can just start it going off on your own. You start to get a memory of something, and then you'll kind of remember. And then I might even do like a little crisscross in the center, just to change it up. There we go, like that. So this one now I'm going to do a black only, and you'll see the difference. I'm going to clean that brush out of all the gold, and I'm going to dip my ink in, or my brush in black ink, and I'm going to show you. So the usagami, this was great about usagami, is you can draw on it, and it is so translucent that when you use it in collage layering, you're going to get some amazing. Now this is probably too much ink, and it's going to kind of bleed a little. But I just want to. I overloaded that brush. I did not wipe off any of the extra ink, so it's definitely overloaded, and you can even see it's kind of dripping through, drip through onto the other side. And so what I'll do is I'll get rid of that extra, and this time I'm going to wipe my brush off just a little more, like not so much ink, just a little bit off the side, and then I'm going to try it again, because really these brushes hold a lot of ink, and I have to hold my brush straight up and down, rather than sideways. Or of course, to get a thin line, you hold it straight up and down, and you can get a wonkier line. See, I'm holding it close to my to the front. If I want to get a wonkier line, I hold it back here. Then I can get like a really wonky, hard to control, and that's the beauty of it. Hard to control line. That was hard to control. And this spread out, and it still has a little gold in it, so I think it's kind of fun. You can't see it there yet, but so that's that. That's the thing on that. If you don't want to do that design, you can even go like this one. I'm going to kind of try to have a very dryish brush. I'm just kind of going around, making these like circles and circles. And then I'm making little lines, and this is what Wendy's stamp is, just like lines or like eyelashes going out of the circle. It's going to look different than if you were using a pen, you would have a different look, of course. But these, I think these are gonna be fun. And just going around slowly, making those marks. And you can be as careful or as wonky as you wanna be. I don't think I wanna spend too long boring you with that one, but that's kind of the idea. You wanna go around the whole thing with marks. So then you just save all these pieces and you get all kinds of amazing things. And the last thing I want to show you, because it's 3 o'clock, I can't believe we've gone through the hour already. It's crazy. I want to make sure, okay, so everybody's here and ready for the last thing that I want to show you. And this one is just so much fun because I have all these paints here. I might as well use them. And this is kind of how these things happen is you start trying different things. And this time I'm using the watercolor paper. And I'm going to use this, I'm going to use the um, stencil brush, and I'm going to use some shiny, let's see, I don't have an extra palette, do I? I'm going to have to use, let's see, I'm going to grab out of my set here. I want to get this pretty color. There's a blue here that's really nice too. What do I do with that? Who knows what I did with it? I'm going to use a number 19. I'm going to mix it with that blue, and that's going to give me kind of a purple color. This blue that I hadn't used much of, I'm just going to, yeah, it might not make a purple. It might not be a good purple. There's actually one that's a good mixing color. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I did with it. I don't know. It's somewhere. I'm just going to go ahead and just put this bright red color. Oh, number 54. That's the one. I'm going to go over here and get this. Just going to stick it in there, and I'm going to make like a mix. And I'm going to use my fusion, my fusion flat brush. I'm just going to kind of mix a color, nice dark color. Yes, such a gorgeous color. Love that. Okay. And it's kind of on the thick side. It's almost a dark black purple, which is what I want. And I'm going to take my stencil brush, and it's a dry brush. I'm just going to take it in, and I'm going to make little marks using my stencil brush. See, that's almost like a black purple. I'm going to make a mark right here and a mark here. And I've got 3 marks on the larger one. And they're kind of, maybe I'll do 4. There's 4. Okay, now that's that size. And if you have a smaller stencil brush, you can do the same. This is a Japanese style stencil brush. I just wanted to do a smaller marks. Here, just kind of throw them in there. 3 of them. That's enough to probably do what I'm going to do. And so next step is to take if you have a fusion brush, or you can use your wafudes, whatever you've got. I think with this one, I'm going to use my fusion. I'm going to grab some very dirty water we've got. And I'm going to take some of this color. First, I'm going to try it without the color. I'm just using a water. I'm going to try to drag out some color out of the center that I just did, making a flower petals. And so you can see the paint is just kind of coming out because I've got plenty in there. I'm just making, I'm going to make 5 petals. So this is a really fun little way to make flowers, making a 4th, and then I'll do a 5th. And what you can do, if you want to add, you can add some of the inks here. And let's see, I'm gonna try to get some inks that aren't contaminated with other colors. There we go. Let's just see what happens when I drop that metallic. Oh yeah, this is the metallic red, and I'm just dropping that red in, and you'll see how it's spreading. So I'll just show you here. It's spreading beautifully. So they mix well with your watercolors. And I'm going to try Western watercolors so you know how they look, but they actually pushed that out of the way. And so I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to take some of this. See, it's very wet there. So I'm going to go ahead and just make some flower petals, just using the existing color. and just winging it. I don't even know. I don't need, they can be touching. I mean, they don't have to be, whoop. You want that water, you want that nice and wet when you're doing that. There you go. That looks fine. And then might as well see if I can drag something out of here. And if you can make little tiny petals, little flat, little small, you don't have to, you can make them small. There you go, just a little, just spread it using that color that's already in the center. This may not have much color, so I'm going to drag a little bit of that, and I'm going to see if I can get some of that color out. Yeah. And just making some wonky flowers. Just see if I can get this one. Very soft. So that one dried already. And if you notice, if it dries, it stays there. It doesn't move. This Chinese watercolor does not move when it's dry. So that's another attribute that you might want to use if if you want to layer with watercolors, your regular watercolors. I'm just going to kind of play with the flower petal shapes here while it's still wet. And now I'm just kind of didn't work out at all. I'm just going to make a little petal there. Maybe just some flower petals, like maybe, who knows. And this one is drying, so let's see if I can get anything out of there. Yep, I can do it. As long as it's still wet, I can get it out. So you want to work quickly, like, or do one at a time rather than doing a gang like I just did. You might want to just do more than that. Okay, so that's going to be a 4-petal flower. I'm just kind of winging it quickly because I wanted to show you the last steps, but see how these blended beautifully. And then the last step is, I'm just going to do one, trying to dissolve it, but you can see it doesn't move. And this one's just going to be like just different petals, but it stayed nice and dark and it is not moving. I love that. All right. Then the next thing you can do is just start doing your drawing with you can use the inks, you can use black ink. I'm going to use black ink, and then I'll be done, and then we can go on. What is the binder used in Chinese watercolor? Good question. Phoebe, can you answer that? Because we just talked about that. Now I forgot. She'll tell you. Okay, so I'm going to just do a little, like some kind of leaves, stems, and you can draw on your paper if you want to. You don't have to do it. You can just do a whole page of this, but I'm just kind of playing with shapes and lines. And the very last thing I always do with these is, I love how it's bleeding into the other stuff. I don't think I'm gonna do any leaves except for maybe just some little branches, like sort of scraggly little branches kind of going out, like just scraggles. Looks kind of like fall, right? So that is, and then when these dry completely, I will use and I'll show you what I did. I just mixed a little of the watercolor, the white and the silver and the gold together, and I made little highlights for the middle. And so that's it. So any questions? I love how, that one actually, I loved doing that with you. It's a little more free than this one. It's just practicing, and it's just so much fun. Yes, more experimentation. So I got Elka asked if there's something about the paints and inks you use that is conducive to double loading. Good question. These are more opaque. They're more. They have a different binder than let's say Western watercolors. And like most people, I'm sure if you're like me, you have your Western watercolors. Either if they're tubes, they get dried in a pan like this already, right? And those are hard to get that much concentration of pigment. And the other thing, I'm going to try it just for fun. A quick double loading. I'm going to do a double loading with some Gosling right here, using Western, just watercolor, just to show you the difference. That there is a difference. I'm going to use this. I've got a very dirty brush thing going here, but let's see. I'll use, this looks like a green, so I'm going to go ahead and get some green. And usually, if you wanted to double load a watercolor, here's what you do. Okay. I had a brush in my mouth, that's why I sounded like that. Oh, I'm so glad you had fun. Okay, so here's the one. I've loaded my brush with this color, this green. And I could even load it with a little, I don't know, that color too, this middle part. Now this is a dark color. I think it's almost like a Payne's gray or indigo. I'm just gonna dip the tip in that color and let's see what happens. There is some gold still left, but anyway, let's see how it works. And I'm using the smooth side of the Gussin, by the way. I'm just going to do it. Yep, it kind of does it, but not as good because it does it, but not nearly as good because the binder and the pigment load, the grind, how thick the paints are ground. You can do the double loading. I did. I got something cool. I'm going to do it again. Just tip that, and then I'm going to just yeah. It's possible to do it, but it is much more dramatic with the Chinese watercolors. There you go. Yeah, so it can be done. So there. So the double loading was my favorite thing to show you today because I thought that those were so much fun. I'm going to show you. Oops. I'm going to show you now that they've dried. This one is the one that I did with the black, and it's not quite 100% dry yet. This is the one. This one's dry. This one is the first one, double loaded. But you can see the difference. They're more because the paints are more opaque. I'm going to get when this dries, it's going to be much more pale than these. So that's just the only difference. But you can still do the same, practice it anyway. And then Chinese, I would suggest getting Chinese inks in your for this type of thing. It's like painting. It's a different experience than watercolor. With watercolors, you have one way, but then this is more opaque. So thank you, everybody. Does anyone else have any more questions? I'm here to answer any questions you might have. And I'll just put myself in the corner here. There. So another question. The difference between gouache. Yes. Okay. Excuse me. Gouache is an opaque watercolor with gum arabic, most likely, as the binder. It is very resoluble in water. So, in other words, you can move. It moves around once it's in there. You can move it around. It won't. You can't layer the way you layer these on the washi paper. The binder and I don't know if if Phoebe you mentioned. Hi Jane, yay! I'm so glad you're going to watch the recording. Welcome, Jane. So you would need. So the difference is the binder. The big difference is the binder. So the CP12 is a gelatin binder. Thank you. The gelatin is not what you think in Jello kind of gelatin. It's more like I would think, and I'm just guessing, but the fish scale glue, the rabbit skin glue, those things, the animal skin glue, the fish glue, all those types of that gelatin, it could be a whole mishmash of that, and it's very much more strong of a binder than gum arabic, and it dries more water resistant than gum arabic. So that's the difference. So that one is. I hope that helped. And thank you. It was fun. Any more questions? CP12 binder is gelatin. Thank you. Yay. And anyone else? But everybody had fun. Yay. Oh, thank you, Julie. Julie. So everybody that came today, we had a good group. Again, next time we're going to make candles. We're gonna start making holiday gifts next time. In 2 weeks, I'm gonna show you how I made these. So I'm going to use my gel printed papers. I'm going to use the washi papers. All this is going to be basically holiday with washi or washi holiday. That's a washi holidays. All right, and happy Halloween. Yep, have fun, everybody, today. Be safe. Whatever you're doing, I'm not doing anything but watching a movie. And we're just painting some more because I've got all this out. And this, I don't want to leave my paints out for too long because then they will make it hard to reconstitute. So I'm going to use what I have left and use it up. And but thank you so much. Oh, that's so sweet, Kate. Thank you. We will see you the next time. We will see you in 2 weeks, and then we're going to have one the first week in November. When we do the next one in 2 weeks, we'll have one the next week because we have Black Fridays falls on one of those days. So thank you, everybody, and I will see you the next time. Thank you, Phoebe, again for being such a wonderful co-host. Wish you could see her because she's a beautiful girl. All right, see you soon. Take care, everybody.